The NBA once stood as a towering icon of sports culture, dominating television, headlines, and playground conversations. It was the place where legends were made. Michael Jordan's Game 6 shot, Kobe and Shaq's three-peat, LeBron's block in Game 7, and Steph Curry's game-changing three-pointers from the parking lot. It wasn't just a game, it was a cultural movement. Kids wore jerseys everywhere. Rap lyrics mentioned stars in almost every other line. Yet, as we look at the state of the NBA today, something feels different. The magic is fading and the numbers back it up. Ratings for the NBA Finals, a once unmissable event, have dropped more than 50% compared to their peak a decade ago. Entire generations of fans seem to be tuning out, and even the All-Star Game has turned into a glorified exhibition that few care about anymore. To understand why the NBA is facing these challenges, we first need to look at the numbers. Let's talk about viewership. The 1998 NBA Finals, Michael Jordan's last dance with the Chicago Bulls, drew an average of 29 million viewers per game. That's almost double the audience of the 2023 NBA Finals between the Nuggets and Heat, which averaged a dismal 11.6 million viewers. Some of that is due to the rise of streaming platforms, but it doesn't explain everything. The NFL, for example, still pulls in monstrous ratings. The Super Bowl alone attracts over 100 million viewers every year. Even regular season games in the NFL outdraw the NBA's marquee events. Then there's soccer. The 2022 FIFA World Cup final between Argentina and France reached over 1.5 billion viewers. Formula One, once considered a niche sport in the United States, has exploded in popularity thanks to Netflix's Drive to Survive series. By contrast, the NBA feels stagnant, struggling to maintain relevance in an increasingly crowded sports and entertainment landscape. But why are fans tuning out? One of the biggest culprits is the rise of super teams. The concept of a balanced league, where multiple teams have a shot at winning the championship, has largely disappeared. Think back to the 1980s when the Lakers and Celtics dominated, but there were always other contenders like the Sixers and Pistons. Fast forward to the 2010s and we saw the Miami Heat's Big Three, followed by the Warriors adding Kevin Durant to an already stacked roster. While these super teams generated headlines, they also created predictability. Fans love an underdog story, but when you already know who's going to win, the excitement fades. The dominance of super teams has made entire seasons feel like a formality, where the regular season is just a warm-up for the inevitable playoffs. And let's not forget about load management. This has become one of the most controversial issues in the NBA. In the past, players prided themselves on suiting up every night. Michael Jordan once famously said, "There's someone in the crowd who has never seen me play before, and I don't want to let them down." Today, star players routinely sit out games for rest, even if they're not injured. While the science of load management might make sense from a performance standpoint, it's a nightmare for fans. Imagine you're a parent who saved up to take your kid to see LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard play, only to find out they're sitting on the bench in street clothes. It's not just frustrating, it's disheartening. Fans want to see the best players compete night in and night out, and the current system feels like a betrayal of that expectation. Social media has also changed the way people consume basketball, and not necessarily for the better. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube make it easy to catch highlights without watching the full game. In the past, you had to tune in to see that incredible dunk or game-winning shot. Now you can watch it on your phone seconds after it happens. While this has helped grow the league's global audience, it's also contributed to declining TV ratings. Why spend 2 hours watching a game when you can get the best moments in a 60-second clip? The NBA has leaned heavily into social media, but this strategy might be backfiring when it comes to retaining traditional viewers. Another major issue is the lack of rivalries. Rivalries have always been the lifeblood of sports. Think Magic versus Bird, Jordan versus the Bad Boy Pistons, or even Kobe versus Duncan. These battles defined eras and gave fans something to rally around. Today, those kinds of rivalries are few and far between. LeBron James has been the face of the league for over a decade, but who's his true rival? Steph Curry? Kevin Durant? It's hard to say because the league has shifted toward a more player-friendly, less confrontational culture. While this is great for the players themselves, it's less engaging for fans who thrive on drama and competition. The NBA's schedule is another problem. With 82 regular season games, many of them feel meaningless. Fans know the real action doesn't start until the playoffs, so they tune out for large chunks of the season. By contrast, the NFL has only 17 games per team, making every week feel like an event. Some have suggested shortening the NBA season to make each game more impactful, but the league has been hesitant to make such a drastic change. The introduction of the NBA Cup, a mid-season tournament designed to create excitement, has also received mixed reviews. It's hard for fans to care about a mid-season trophy when the ultimate goal is still the Larry O'Brien Championship Trophy. The decline in viewership and fan engagement isn't just a problem for the NBA, it's a warning sign for the future of the league. If these trends continue, the NBA risks losing its place as one of the premier sports leagues in the world. To turn things around, the league needs to address some of these fundamental issues. First, they need to find a way to make the regular season matter again. Whether that's through shortening the season or restructuring the schedule, something needs to change. Second, the league needs to take a hard look at load management and find a balance between player health and fan satisfaction. Fans want to see the best players on the court, not resting on the bench. Third, the NBA needs to embrace rivalries and create compelling storylines that draw fans in. And finally, the league needs to find a way to capitalize on social media without cannibalizing its traditional viewership. The NBA has the talent, the history, and the global reach to reclaim its former glory, but it needs to adapt to the changing sports landscape. The league's future depends on its ability to evolve, innovate, and reconnect with fans. The question is, will the NBA rise to the challenge, or will it continue to fade into irrelevance? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the NBA's survival depends on its willingness to change.